is a Tracking the Tropics update with the certified most accurate weather team at First Coast News.
All right, well, it is 11 o'clock. It's time for some Talkin Tropics with the latest advisory in on Imelda and Humberto as they move off towards the north and east. Plus, we're going to look ahead heading into the weekend with a bit of a nor'easter setup. I'm meteorologist Robert Spetta. I am joined by the fantastic meteorologist Lee Southwick.
Fantastic, I'll take it.
Fantastic. Hey, all right, so Lee, let's talk about the latest news we got here. Now, you just told me we had an update on Imelda here at the 11 o'clock hour, right?
We do, yes. Okay, so you can see Imelda and what are now the remnants of Humberto. So 2 updates to bring you all right now at the 11 o'clock hour. So are we starting with Imelda? Which one do you want to start with? Humberto.
Let's mention Humberto here real quick. 11 o'clock, remnants of Humberto. It is no longer tropical, just basically getting ripped apart by Imelda, the shear off towards the west associated with that storms and dry air. It's
like combining with a front right now, too.
Yes. So it really doesn't have those tropical characteristics anymore. But Imelda, now a Category 2 hurricane out here, Lee.
Yeah, we don't like to see this because, I mean, it's out in the Atlantic, but it found that one little spot of land out there. So Bermuda, right in the path of Imelda. Imelda, now a Category 2, continuing to strengthen. So it has winds of 100 miles an hour. It will continue to strengthen, unfortunately. It looks like tonight it could be up to 105 as it passes near or over Bermuda. So that means the island of Bermuda preparing for not only hurricane force winds with the possibility of winds up to around 105, but also the possibility of damaging seas, big catastrophic waves along their coast, the heavy rainfall too that could lead to that flood threat for the island as well, Robert.
And they are under a hurricane warning at this time. So basically, this island is definitely built for these type of storms, but a hurricane is still a hurricane. It is expected to pass likely right over now. Will they get landfall? Landfall is a technicality. Is basically depends if the exact center of that low-level rotation hits the island. But for anybody on Bermuda, I'm sure that it landfall or not, it's not going to make a difference. Solid Cat 1 winds here by our Wednesday night into your Thursday morning. So overnight, a night storm, which is never good. And you can see right here, this is right?
Bullseye right over it.
Bullseye. Now, here's one thing I do want to stress, though, with Bermuda, though, and anybody that might be watching on the island, thanks if you're watching from Bermuda, a shout out to you. The island is not conducive for storm surges. You got some steep kind of topography underwater around it. It's not a shallow slope like you see on the Gulf Coast. So the storm surge threat is down. And plus, most of the island is built for this. A lot of the homes they're made out of like coral cement. Mm-hmm. It's really designed. There's not a lot of wood structures on the island. That's what I'm getting at here. So the big thing is probably marinas and stuff, making sure they take the boats out of the water and everything like that ahead of this, Lee.
And we have a guy who works here who does it all. His name is Jimmy, and he lived in Bermuda for a while and loves to talk about how hurricanes can be beneficial to the island because of rainfall. That's how they get their fresh water. So, but there can be too much of a good thing, and there's going to be a lot of rain that could, it's a lot of heavy rain. So we'll just have to watch the island. Now, again, as we said, as Robert definitely called out, it is a resilient island, but still we hope that they are preparing, hunkering down. Their impacts will start later on today, this evening, and overnight tonight. That's when Imelda would be passing overhead or nearby. And as Robert said, it's a technicality. You need the exact center of that hurricane to move over the island itself to call it landfall. But even if it doesn't, you're still sitting on the outer wall, the eye wall of that hurricane, Cat 2 hurricane. It's going to be a rough go for them tonight. And
I really got a feel for Bermuda because of course, Humberto just passed towards the north, and now you're getting a bit of a twofer, a little BOGO deal here for them. But I kind of like Imelda has just been one of those storms. I'm telling you, it's a little tricky here. And I like this graphic because it just shows the course of the warnings, Lee, over the course of the last, 5 days now, where originally it did look like the Carolinas were actually going to get hit. But then that high pressure ridge kind of moved in, and Humberto being the biggest factor in yanking it towards north and east. And this is why we said originally, there was very low confidence in this until we started to see that interaction with Humberto more and more. And then now we're at that point where it does look more like it's absolutely high confidence that this is continuing to move towards north and east. Not more likely. This is happening. So those days of lower confidence are definitely behind us. But I like this graphics, kind of shows you the warning trend with this here, Lee.
And so this is crossing over an area that Humberto just went through. Robert, I know you have a whole show here, so I'm sorry. I just was wondering if you had sea surface temperatures, kind of wondering how the seas were.
I might be able to pull it up. I have waves. That's what.
That's a huge story too, with Humberto and Imelda out there. The waves, gosh, our shipping channels just wrecked by those two. But you can usually get a little bit of cooling of the waters when one of these major hurricanes goes by. Of course, Humberto was not a Cat 5 anymore when it passed by. You can see where it's a little bit cool on its path there, but sure enough, Robert, thank you for pulling that up. Looks like the waters are unfortunately plenty warm for this thing to potentially continue to strengthen even a little bit more before it passes near or over Bermuda tonight.
And those are the anomalies right
okay,
there.
Sure enough. Yeah, the departure from normal. Gotcha.
So there is that cool spot. But yeah, I mean, just towards the west of Bermuda here, we're still into the 80s.
Wow.
80 degree is the temperature you need for kind of tropical development. And you can see where Humberto is now. It's moving away from where you would have those warmer waters, but Imelda's still kind of cruising along. And then, by the way, since we got this up, if you look towards the south, look at this.
I don't like seeing that. That is
Right?
untapped energy,
especially south of Cuba. And now that we're going, I'm gonna deviate from my show here a little bit, but just now that we're going into October, today's October 1st, those areas towards the south, and you can see right there south of Cuba, that is where you most likely have tropical cyclone development. Combine that with high 80s near 90. Now, we're not saying anything's out there right now. In the next 7 days, I don't see anything. But this is the area, and there's plenty of energy out there right now, Lee, for something to develop if it wanted to.
Right. So that's why we're watching that area closely. Now, just to let you all know, over the next week or two, areas of development, we're going to always keep a very close eye on the Caribbean and the Gulf this time of year. Your main areas of development. But still, although the Atlantic isn't highlighted, that's another area we're going to be watching for little waves to come off the coast of Africa. I shouldn't say little. They're going to be big waves. And that's what we'd have to also watch for any sort of development, but hopefully just another Atlantic storm out of that. That's where our attention is recently. But then we have the entire month of October to go. So second half of October too. Now, of course, but always closely watching the Caribbean with those very warm waters. That is just fuel for hurricanes. We don't like to see such warm waters.
So, of course, Imelda is our big topic out here today. We're of course still tracking this as it heads out towards Bermuda. But what you find interesting on the satellite imagery is that you have your storm going this way, but you can kind of start to see the clouds, the low-level clouds, doing this behind it, right? Mm-hmm. And that, I believe, is going to be the big topic heading into the weekend here. What's your over-under on Saturday and Sunday, maybe seeing higher winds along the coast than we've seen during Imelda here on the First Coast?
I think it's absolutely possible, unfortunately. I do think we will have gusts up to 30, and perhaps even stronger than that. And I don't even know, Robert, off the top of my head, I don't know if you know what our peak wind gust was when Imelda was to our southeast.
I know when I was out there, I was at Summerhaven, and our peaks there were about 35.
Okay, so there you go. So I think we'll be those were peaks. I think our peaks this time could be 40 this time along the beaches. What about you? What do you think?
And the other thing is that there's a lot of moisture here too, getting pumped on shore. So we're going to be seeing an increase in coastal showers starting Friday, Saturday, over towards Monday as well. So you're going to have a twofer here and a solid nor'easter. Now, not thunderstorm type activity, but kind of these consistent areas of rainfall, which we need here on the First Coast. We got a pretty dry September here. But, but
it's the weekend, and we know a lot of people want to try to go to the beach while it's still warm enough. And we're just here to tell you it's going to be an awful beach weekend. Don't make those plans to head out and spend all day at the beach. Not only do you have to deal with the winds and at 40-mile-per-hour gusts, the sand stings you. But as Robert said, rain will be moving on shore. I think we could have waves of rain, and it could be heavy rain at that, too. Our precipitable water values up there over 2. All that means is that we could have some very heavy downpours, and where those do set up, that could lead to some isolated spots of localized flooding. So this weekend, we need you all to be paying attention to the roads. If you're driving, don't drive into these heavy downpours. Not only is it blinding, but you can start to get some ponding on the water. Also, if you're just outside over the weekend, have the indoor backup plan or the shelter nearby. Don't forget your rain gear. It's just the timing. Why does it feel like these always happen
Always
over
on
the
the
weekend?
weekend.
And
Always
then
on the weekend.
This one goes into Monday, and we have a Jags game.
yes.
It's like we can't win here, but
So people are asking, is it going to rain during the Jags game? And I think the easy answer is yes. The more technical answer is there's going to be rain in the area.
right.
And
That's all we can say this far out. We know rain will be in the area at the start of the game, but we need you all to check back in as we get closer to Monday to really be able to time out that rain and also locate it exactly where it could be.
Yeah, because it's going to be passing. At the very least, there's going to be a stiff east breeze. So let's say you are top deck on the home side of the field. You're going to have that wind in your face. And the good news is that the temperatures will be into the 70s, and it's at night. It's going to be cloud. You're not having to worry about passing out in the heat like all the games so far this year.
Right. We get a break from the heat, but of course, it's not fun to be out there in ponchos during the game and even tailgating. So unfortunately, I think there's also a higher risk of rain during tailgate time, and hopefully we'd start to dry out some during the game, but it's just too early to know for sure. So if you have tickets to the game, if you're planning to go, already pull out your Jags poncho, get ready, because there will be rain in the area at least on Monday.
And hopefully we'll be out there ahead of the game. If you see us, stop by and say hi. I'm not 100% on it yet.
Yeah.
We might be in the area, so just check us out if you're going to the Jags game.
We work in the area anyway.
Well, yes, we do work in the area,
we should
but
take a walk to say hi to people.
Yes. So
hopefully bringing you some live reports, because if you don't want to go to the game and you want to watch it from the comfort of your home, we'll be bringing you broadcasts from it, of course, beforehand during our newscast, and then you watch it right here on ABC 25 First Coast News.
Yeah, because it is Monday Night Football, so it'll be on ABC here on Monday. So
we'll bring you all the coverage, of course, leading up to it. So.
All right, so that's pretty much a wrap. I'm not going to take your time too much here, but the big thing is that Imelda is now a Category 2 storm, moving off towards the north and west. Humberto, as of 11 o'clock, is no longer a far cry from its Cat 5-ness.
Right. All things considered, besides the shipping channels and stuff like that, it was we like to see those storms that stayed away. Humberto stayed away from a lot of land. And so if they become that powerful, we want them to be a fish storm. And now you will not hear us talk about it anymore, because it is gone. It is done. Yeah,
that's Europe's problem now, which it still could kick up some pretty decent rough weather for them. Extra tropical, not as a hurricane. And the same thing that, what was our storm, Aaron?
Yes.
Yeah, Aaron did that. For our friends in Bermuda, if you're watching from Bermuda, give us a shout. Let us know you're watching from there, because I know tonight heading into tomorrow morning is going to be some rough weather out there for you. And if you are watching, send us some images here at First Coast News. We would love to see your reports here safely taken. But behind this, of course, that nor'easter set up some messy weather heading into the weekend. That's why that weather in particular, and that's why we're always going to keep you informed here at First Coast News. Lee, you got anything else you want to add?
No, just we will be watching it. Though, of course, we're always watching the tropics for you, but also watching this gross weather as we head towards the weekend. So in the meantime, First Coast, today is a beautiful day. Please get outside and enjoy it.
All right. Well, thanks for stopping by. And yeah, we'll see you. Don't forget to check out firstcoastnews.com/Hurricane Central as well. Plenty of information, everything we're talking about here, other videos, forecast, all of that good stuff that you can get more information on. So thank you very much, Lee, for
Thanks for letting me join.
Yeah. All right. Have a good day.